Horns up and welcome to Headbanger's Kitchen. Folks, it was my lemon pepper chicken that made my wife Dipti fall in love with me. If you haven't seen that recipe, click here on the I button and check it out. Now, why am I talking about that? Well, because today's dish is called Marry Me Chicken. It's delicious chicken cutlets cooked in a creamy sauce with sun-dried tomatoes. And legend has it that the person who cooks this dish will get a lot of wedding proposals. That's the reason I told you my story. So I want to ask you, is there any dish that you have cooked for a loved one, or is there a dish you have eaten that's been cooked by a loved one that made you fall in love? Let me know in the comments below. And let's go make that Marry Me chicken. We are going to start by chopping a few cloves of garlic because that's one of the main flavor components of the dish. Just a rough chop will do. I like to smash the cloves with the side of my knife before cutting them. Now, on a normal day, garlic in any dish can hamper your chances of being kissed, but I guess in this dish it does quite the opposite. Sun-dried tomatoes are the other main flavor component in this dish, and I'm using some that have been brined in oil. You can also use the dried ones, no problem. But once again, just give them a rough chop. You want the pieces big enough to taste them when you bite into them. You don't want it to completely disappear into the sauce. Basil is my herb of choice for this dish because I think tomato and basil is a classic combination, a match made in heaven. So Gordon Ramsay style, we're going to put the basil leaves one over the other, then roll them like a cigar, and then let the knife do the work because basil is quite delicate and you don't want to bruise the leaves too much. And finally, onto the chicken cutlet, which is basically a thin piece of chicken. So we are using chicken breasts, and we first take out the tender, which is that little flap on the breast, and then you basically want to slice the breast from the center like you would if you were butterflying it, and then just separate it into two even pieces. That's it. The whole idea is to have a piece which is uniform in thickness so that it cooks evenly in the pan. Anyway, once you've butchered your breasts, it's time to season them. And we're going to keep it simple, guys. Just some salt and some fresh black pepper. And as always, season them on both sides. Chicken is not a very flavorful meat, so it tends to need good amounts of seasoning on it. Anyway, once that's done, it's time to cook. Get your pan on the stove and heat up some olive oil. Once that is hot, you add a bit of butter to it. And once that butter has melted, in goes my chicken. Now sear it on a medium-high heat till you get some color on the chicken breast. Remember, as always, chicken breast takes hardly any time to cook, and now even less since we made cutlets out of it, so no more than 2 minutes a side. Once you got color on the first side, flip it over and cook for another 2 minutes till the breast is cooked all the way through, or at least 90%, and then remove it from the pan. Now since my breasts were too big and didn't fit into the pan, one of them was left out. So I got that lone chicken cutlet in the pan, seared it on one side, flipped it over, and once it was cooked, I removed it from the pan. In that same pan, I add a knob of butter, my chopped garlic. I also add in 2 whole pinches of red chili flakes for a bit of heat, and a small packet of dried oregano, like the ones they send out with pizza here in India. And now I fry all of that till the garlic starts to brown and gets nice and fragrant. Now you see those brown bits in the pan? That's all flavor. We don't want them to burn as well, so now we're going to deglaze the pan with some chicken stock. You can also use water, no problem. Now using your spoon or spatula, scrape all those brown bits from the bottom of the pan. Once that's done, I add in some heavy cream. I grate in some Parmesan cheese. Now mine is almost over and I got this from the UK. But anyway, I digress. Now give it all a good stir, and I also add in the resting juices from the chicken plate. I add in my chopped sun-dried tomatoes and give it another good mix. Our sauce is now almost ready, and once it starts bubbling again, I add my chicken back into the pan to soak in some of that sauce and just finish cooking. And now I finish it with some fresh parsley and also our chopped basil. And just for a pop of color, I add some cherry tomatoes that I had in the fridge. This is optional, it's not part of the actual recipe. Anyway, my friends, that is our keto-friendly version of the Marry Me chicken. And it not only looks delicious, it also looks so vibrant and colorful. Anyway, don't forget to give it a final good mix and douse that chicken in the creamy sauce. I mean, that is the money shot, isn't it? Ooh, yeah. Now cut to my professional black plate on my professional black slate for the photographs, but tell me, does that look like a dish that is going to inspire marriage proposals? If you are planning to propose, I must let you know that I am married, in case the chicken is causing some matrimonial feelings in you. Anyway, I gotta cut into that delicious chicken and show you how it's cooked. Pretty perfect if you ask me. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, time to taste. Alright folks, it's time to taste the Marry Me chicken, and well, I just had to have the lady who married me come and taste it.
But Sahil, all your food is marry me food.
Really?
Yeah.
I told them the lemon pepper chicken is what won you over.
Of course, but I mean everything you make is sort of, marry me food.
Okay, so shall we? Yeah?
Yes, please.
Let's
It seems to have all my favorite things.
Yes, make sure you get some of these sun-dried tomatoes also. And the fresh tomato is my sort of addition to it. Mostly to take pretty photos. Oh yeah. I love sun-dried tomatoes. Why don't we eat them more often?
Because they're very expensive.
Well, we can buy a big batch when we travel next. And are you going to marry me again? Or is the lemon pepper still...
Like I said, you've spoiled me. But the lemon pepper still is like the marry me dish. But I can see why people love this. I mean, this is my favorite combo when it comes to pastas or even pizzas.
Yeah.
My mouth is watering as I'm talking. So I'm going to quickly fill it. But it's delicious. Basil, sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, cream. What's not to love?
That is true. And while this hasn't got me another marriage proposal, it's good enough that we would make it and eat it again. Yeah.
Would you like me to go down on mine?
No. Anyway, while I get proposed to, we're gonna... I'm so... yes, I will marry you, Dipti. Okay, on that note, we're gonna go and we'll see you on the next episode of Headbangers Kitchen. I hope you will make this. Let me know if you got any marriage proposals.
You should.
But I will see you on the next episode. Till then, cheers and keep cooking. Hey folks, if you enjoyed that video, smash that like button and do subscribe to Headbangers Kitchen for more awesome recipes. Also, a huge thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Without you, I would not be able to make these videos, so a big thank you to all of you. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, the link is below this video in the description box. However, if paying a monthly fee is not your cup of tea, there's more. You can also purchase one of my recipe ebooks or buy some merch like t-shirts, mugs and hats. The links are all in the video description box just below this video. Anyway, if you like chicken, click here and watch another chicken recipe video, or click here and get something vegetarian.